say with harvest forecasting, when Pat did her review of the commodity forecast system, I mean, that included one way to handle it, through that module.
Right.
I wasn't really sure what the topic entailed, but I'll just kind of briefly review this area.
Okay.
In the grower entity master file, there is a spot.
Kathy?
Yeah?
Do you need to share your screen?
I thought I was.
I don't see it yet.
Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Just kidding.
Hey,
okay.
got
in
it.
the grower entity master, there is a spot where you can enter harvest estimates. So let's just say I pick one of these guys. And right down here, I can enter an original harvest estimate. I can enter an original.
I just started 10 seconds ago.
What date I, entered the estimate.
We're on mute.
And when I think I'm going to start picking, then I can do a revised harvest estimate, a revised date, and a revised pick. You can also indicate a harvest completion date, so that once that particular, grower block variety has been completely harvested, if you fill this date in, the system will not let a user enter a receiving ticket against this season grower entity type variety sub. So some of our clients have used that in the past to prohibit a user in the receiving area from entering the wrong grower, or maybe the wrong block number for that grower during receiving entry. Now this information, the harvest estimate and or the revised estimate, is then used over on the harvesting receiving menu on the number 7 report, the year-to-date harvesting report, and also the harvest brood list. These two reports take the if there is a revised estimate keyed in, it will use the revised estimate from the grower entity file, or if not, it'll just use the original. So it'll show the original estimate, what's been received so far year to date, and then give you a percent. I think it's a percent to completion. But as you can see, you can sequence the reports in a variety of ways, by grower, by grower entity, by variety, or by variety entity. So this is one format. The number 11 report is in a little bit different format, same type of concept. You compare your estimate, your harvest estimate to your actual, but this allows you to indicate a pick-through date so that you can specify, a given week ending date if you so choose. And you can get it by grower and or by grower entity. That methodology, if you will, is what we've had in the system, for a long time. But then when we developed the commodity forecast system, that's a little bit more, a little bit more of a sophisticated way to enter in and or track your harvest forecast, because you're really anticipating, tracking your deliveries from the orchard or the farm into the warehouse. It's kind of the same thing. The other option that I wasn't really sure if this is what Roy was referring to, and he talked a little bit about it the other day, and we actually didn't get a chance to go into it, so let me go into it now, is this packing estimate generation.
Roy's here now.
Hi, Roy.
Hey, Kathy.
You want me to start over?
Nope.
No, he walked in 10 seconds after you
Yeah.
started. I just had him. We were on mute.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want you to say anything bad about him.
Oh, darn. Okay, so I'm going to do packing estimate generation. And what this allows you to do is, let's say I want to create an estimate for tomorrow. So I can key in tomorrow's date. Remember, I'm using my demo data here. I think I'm C.A. Red Delicious Apple in 2008 for which location. And you have size allocation table, so I have to pick that. And then what it does is it asks me how many bins do I anticipate running. So I'm telling the system I anticipate running X number of bins tomorrow, and this is defaulting from let's just say I'm going to say 500 bins. And then what it does is it takes that 500 bins based on the size allocation table. Your size allocation table is where you define the grades and what percentages you think you're going to go to each grade. So took the 500 and converted those to an equivalent, in this case maybe equivalent tray pack, and broke them out by grade. And then it also, based in the size allocation table, set up the size percentages. So these are the size percentages. Now I can override that and do an F9 to create from prior, and I can go back and look at prior pack out, actual production, X number of days or for a particular date range. So if you're just starting to pack a particular crop this year and you think it might pack out the same as it did last year, you can put in last year's, date range if you want to, for a week or a day or what have you. Since I'm in demo, I don't have a lot of data back then, so I'm not going to try anything there. But I can override these standard quantities. I can
Kathy?
hit F1 or enter percentages. Yes.
So on that previous screen where you can pick the date range or X number of days, does it go out and poll the system real time and then come back and populate the screen?
Yeah. Let me go and try it. See, I don't have some. Oh, there it went. Okay.
Oh. So it does that, excuse me, does that real time. That's cool.
Yeah. So it went and looked and it found, I entered for second, and I've got these other grades. Okay. So now if I hit, let's see what else can I do here. Retrieve allocation percentages. I don't remember what that does. I'm not going to do that. Nope. So when I hit enter, it takes me to the next screen where it's going to go out and look at the item master and pull in every item combination that it finds for the grades that were on the previous screen. So for this type and variety and these grades, what are the valid item combinations that it finds? There's a table where you set up your, so it knows that, in this example, here I have coals, and maybe they're out there as precise pounds or something. But my, hold on, this is confusing me. The coals, I think, is what's messing me up. Let me take this out. They're still messing me up. But this is supposed to be the grade 1, so I don't know why they're sticking in here like this. This is your, this is Washington Fancy, trade pack, your top label, and here's my 48,000. And it's allocated it, across to the sizes. Well, then what it does is it goes out and looks at available for sale and says, at what date do you need product? So it went out and it found January 4th is when I'm going to need 198 size 72s, 50 size 80s, and 10 size 100. Well, based on my, if I pack all this today, then I think it should be okay. But if I'm not sure, I can put my cursor right there. And you notice that down here at the bottom I have F9, and that means review orders. So I can click that, and it'll take me to the screen and show me that right now I don't have anything, saying that I'm going to pack this product, and I have this order. Here's an order, for the 2nd. I have another order for this day on the 3rd, So I might need product for these particular orders on the size 72s. And on the 80s, I don't have any estimates in yet, and on the 100s, I'm going to need 10 for another order. Go back. Let me check this item on the 9th. Well, now I'm getting confused because now the dates don't match this screen. I might have to refresh my memory on that. But if I recall correctly, that's what it's here to do, to show you that you need this product so that you can then indicate skills here. Okay, what's 240 plus 160, 5400? Yeah. So that I can indicate a pack plan. I need to create this packing estimate, so I need it to meet my orders, so that when you exit this screen, I can update my model, my packing estimate model, and then the thought was that it would then create this, not a pack out report, but a report that you could then give to the warehouse to show them what to pack. So let me just hit enter. Go out and show, let me see if I can find that report and show you what it looks like. That's special. Hold on, let me find my thing here. Let me go into this one, because this is what I was playing with earlier. No, that's the earlier one. I got my 400. Here's your other grade. And supposed to give me the report. Oh. Wrong location. There we go. That's what I was doing wrong. I had the wrong location in there. So here it prints the report. Let me just go down 10 pages, 10 spaces or so. And here it shows you your item. You can't see the headings because it's overprinting when you look at it on the screen, but if you print it out, you'll see it. But here it shows your item, the quantities that they need to pack. Here's what I entered in for that one particular choice label. It gives you a total. So when that was designed with one of our clients, I mean, that was how they envisioned using that, was to have it work in conjunction with available for sale so that they could see what they need to pack and then print that report and send it off to the warehouse. They would know what to pack for the day. Does that make sense?
I'm following, yep.
Okay. Also, when I hit F10, that's just update the packing estimate model. If I were to hit F22, then that would update the model and also create a packing estimate on the available for sale screen. At any point in time, I can override the sizes. So if I hit F8, if I don't like this size distribution, I just hit that F8 key and I can tab over and change any of these numbers that I so choose. If I want to key in any instructions, I can hit F18. And you notice it is, I'll say cursor sensitive, if you will, because my cursor was on the size 100. And if I want to type in a particular instructions to the warehouse, I can say, ensure this fruit has stickers or something to that effect. So this is much like the other instructions we use in our order processing, where you've got your line sequence numbers. You can resequence them if you so choose. That instruction line is now attached to that, so that when I print it again, it will, it will then print those instructions as well. I think this S6 was general instructions. Yeah. This is just general instructions go here. So that's attached to the whole production plan. Not production plan, but for the packing estimate model. If there's not, this is based on your size table. You have your window right capability, just like you do in AFS. You can look at it in, I have it set to raw quantity. You can F1 to look at it in standard quantity. And you'll notice this little highlighted area says general instructions, so that means there are some general instructions. So that way, you kind of like a tag to the user. When they go in and look at this on the screen, you can see that there are instructions attached. So I'm going to hit F10. And hopefully it's going to exit. I don't know why I'm hung up right now. I hope somebody remember to feed the mice in the system. Oh, okay. Okay. Let's see if I got my report. I don't think I did. You can run the report separately under number 15. I can't type today. And then here it asks you, do you want to print the packing estimate messages, yes or no? So I can say yes. It did display that question on the prior screen. I just put the false to no, so I didn't print them. But here's my message that was attached to that one line item, my size 100. And then the general instructions are printed at the bottom of the report right there. There's the second line. That was packing estimate generation. I wasn't sure, was there something else, Dan or Roy, that you were looking for that related to?
Nope, just wanted to see what was out there.
Okay.
I think I said like the I'm going to call it the FDS system forever. I'm sorry. Like you said, it had a little bit more sophistication, but there's pieces and parts in here, particularly what Roy was always referring to, and it's just how is it going to best fit our model? We'll figure that out.
Okay.
Kathy, I got a generic question, and maybe if Mariah's on the phone, she can answer this, or Roy for that matter. As I was walking through the demo from yesterday, and the transportation performance report really sparked my interest. Are there ways for, and or is Gebers already drilling through some of the work files that are generated for some of these reports and spitting out Cognos reports and etc.? I don't know how. I know that there's a ton of summary files and sales files, and those are all specifically done for extracting into Cognos. But are there any reporting functions that are being utilized strictly for their work files that are generated? You guys are doing a lot of work to summarize data and etc. Are they drilling into any of those files now?
Drilling into the...
Like the transportation performance report generates a summary file. Generates a summary file, I'm sure, as many of the reports do.
I doubt they are. Yeah, I think I understand your question, Stan, and I don't think they are, to my knowledge.
Yeah, Roy's shaking his head no as well. Okay, maybe something we can do in the future or whatnot. But food for thought on my end. That's all.
Okay. So Roy, I know you've always been intrigued by that packing estimate generation option.
Mm-hmm. You know, for me, and that is just it's a neat tool because for me it takes it beyond the, you know, there's some logic in that you know someone went in and you're able to look back at certain periods and in the system rather than have to create a report. So it uses some analysis of its own. You know, I'm in behind the scenes, and there's so many places I can just see that type of data being useful. Whether it's looking at receiving records from last year, the packing estimate that we did on Reds this past 2 months, whatever. There's lots of areas in the system where that would be very, very, very handy tool. But it also, the thing that's always frustrated me is it's like it's set off to the side. So it's this neat little tool, but it really doesn't link to anything. And I keep thinking, man, how neat would that be to actually have that tie to our bend estimates that we have coming in to give us an idea of what's in that bend. What was in it last year? What's in it? What would we expect to be in it this year? And then also for packing, tie that so that when you do that neat model, it gives you what you should expect out of those bins for a packing generation tool. Why doesn't it create a packing estimate in the system that affects AFS and bill of material? And it's kind of like off to the little side by itself, and I keep thinking of how I could hook it in to make it a more useful tool for the platform. So anyway, yes, but it's neat. I really enjoy it, and the potential to use it in other areas.
Right. Now, one of the things that you'll notice, because you'll notice here on this particular screen, you see source number, grower entity, and you see this column that's COR, and these are here because there is a option in the location master. I'm in that demo. Let me just pick my location. Back here, several screens right here on screen 4. Right now, it's at what level do you enter your packing estimates? And it is using this flag. Right now, this location is set for P for production planning, so that's triggering your production planning usage. But we've had clients in the past that wanted to enter packing estimates at the source number level or at the grower entity level. So that's what the S means and the G means. So if you have S or G defined in your location master, when you come into the packing estimate generation screen, you do an F6 like I did, then you'll see another couple items pop up. If you have S, then it'll ask you for the source number, and if you have G for grower entity, it'll ask you for the grower entity. I will say when you do the source number here, that means you need to know what the source number is of your pack out so that you can match them up one for one, which you guys don't do, so I don't think that would apply. But I'm just letting you know that's why you see that here on the screen.
Okay.
Also, the correct model feature is here so that once you're done, once you're done packing reds for the day at this location, you can do an option 8, and what that does is that pulls in the actual production for that day for that variety, so that when you, if I remember correctly, you run the number 6. That's another way to access the pack-out projection report. You can say whether or not to print variances. So you'll get in one column the estimate, and then in the column to the right the actual, and then you can say, show me the variances. So you can kind of see how close you came to your projection by doing that correction process. You can copy a corrected model. So once it's been corrected, you can copy that to, create one, say, for the next day, or maybe for the next day or something to that effect.
Okay. Well, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, but that's, we got the harvesting projections has really been more focused on, what Pat showed you as far as the commodity forecast system, where we've really done more work in that, and the other harvesting was just, what I showed you, what we started with, many, many years ago.
Okay.
Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well, that's all I have for today, folks.
All right. Thanks so much.
Yep, appreciate it, Kathy.
Have a good weekend.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
All righty.
Thanks.
Talk to you Monday.
All right.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Oh. No.